The cornerback position, at least in my opinion, is something the Washington Commanders should be addressing probably sometime on day 2 in the 2024 NFL Draft. So today, I'm going to be breaking down my list of the top 15 cornerback draft prospects in this year's NFL Draft. And then at the end of today's show, I'm going to let you know which corners I would target in round 2 for the Commanders and in round 3 as well. Now, when it comes to draft content here on the Commanders Report, we're just getting started, all right? We're less than a month away now from the NFL Draft. I mean, geez, this draft season has just flown by at this point, but we still got a bunch of great stuff coming your way every single day right here on the Commanders Report. The latest Commanders draft news and rumors, all the latest buzz on who they're targeting, also scouting reports on all the top prospects, positional rankings like we're doing today, also weekly Commanders mock drafts for you guys to enjoy. And yeah, it's all 100% free. So if you want to prepare yourself for this historic draft for the Washington Commanders, 6 picks in the top 100 picks, 9 picks total, it's going to be awesome, man. We're going to be right here covering it for you right here on the Commanders Report. So my number 1 corner this year, one of the highest grades I've ever given a corner in any draft class, Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. He's got the size you look for. He's got the arm length you look for. He's got the recovery speed you look for. And then he is practically flawless on tape. Now, the one thing on tape that you can kind of bash him for is that Toledo never played press coverage. It was all off coverage. And Quinyon played it beautifully. All right, he's got great instincts, great back pedal, great hip fluidity, all of it. All right, but the one question mark was, can he survive in press? Then he went to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. He absolutely dominated in press. He was probably the best press corner there. So he can do everything. He's got an incredible profile. I think he's going to be a number 1 lockdown corner in this league for many years to come, and he's going to get out of the gate very fast. I have a top 5 grade on him, but because of all the high-end offensive talent in this draft, look for him to go in the top 15. Then we got Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, number 2 on my list. And he kind of reminds me a little bit of Brian Branch last year, where he's versatile and he's one hell of a football player at wherever he plays, whether that be safety, whether that be nickel, whether that be outside corner. But unlike Brian Branch, who was kind of an unremarkable athlete but a really good football player, Cooper is a really good football player and a phenomenal athlete. Now, he is coming off a very major leg injury that he suffered in a practice last year there at Iowa. So that might drive him down the draft board a little bit in round 1. But I really like the upside there. I love the versatility, and he's a good kid as well. So I do think that he's going to go in round 1. Then I'll go Nate Wiggins, number 3. And listen, these top 3 guys, all of them, really good players, all right? Top of the top. Nate Wiggins, super good in coverage, super sticky in off coverage. Now, the couple of different little nicks on him is that he's a little bit light, and he doesn't have the longest arms in the world. But the recovery speed is incredible. He's good at the catch point. He's got incredible recovery speed as well. He ran in the 4.3s at the Combine. Nate Wiggins is going to be a really good player in this league, and he's going to probably go in the top 20 of the 2024 NFL Draft. Then we get to Kool-Aid McKinstry here, where, he's being brought down on many boards here because of the foot injury that kind of took him out of the Combine interview or Combine workouts. But he ended up working out at his pro day, ran a really good 40 time. He's got super long arms, very physical, great run defender as well. And for these teams that like to play press man coverage, like the Washington Commanders here, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a round 1 pick. But because of that little injury concern with his foot, there's a legitimate chance that McKinstry ends up falling to the Washington Commanders at number 36. Now, I wouldn't necessarily bet my life on it. I'm not that sure he's going to make it to 36 because, like I said, he's a damn good player. But if he's here at number 36, I think Adam Peters and Dan Quinn need to sprint that card up to the podium at pick number 36. Then also, another Bama corner, Terrion Arnold, gets my number 5 spot here. Doesn't quite have like the length and the strength that Kool-Aid does, but he's faster, okay? So if you're somebody that really values speed, then Terrion Arnold is probably your guy. He's super, super fast. All these different things. I think definitely he could play in zone or man. He's played in a very pro-style defense there, in Nick Saban's defense there at Alabama. So even though I got a slightly higher grade on Kool-Aid, I do think Terrion Arnold could be a number 1 corner in this league someday. Now, I think that if any of these top 5 guys fall to 36, you just got to take them. All right, I got round 1 grades on all of them. I think all of them could be number 1 corners in the National Football League. So if any of these top 5 guys on my list ends up making it to you, just sprint that card in, man, because and don't overthink it, because these guys are really, really freaking good. Now, let me know down there in the comments section, what is your CB1, or who is your CB1 in this year's NFL draft class? Is it Quinyon Mitchell? Are you a Cooper DeJean guy? Are you a Nate Wiggins guy? Do you think Kool-Aid McKinstry is getting really slept on right now? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know who your CB1 is in this year's draft class. So now let's get into the second five-some here. TJ Tampa, out of Iowa State, is my number 6 corner. Now, listen, Tampa, I have a round 2 grade on him because the footwork and the stickiness in coverage can be a bit suspect at times. But he's got incredible arm length, really good size for the position, super physical in press, and he's definitely somebody that I think fits what the Washington Commanders are trying to do at that number 1 cornerback position. I wouldn't bat an eye whatsoever if they took him at number 36. Then Kyrie Jackson, number 7 corner for me out of Oregon. He's somebody that I have a round 2 grade on, and I think would be an absolute steal if you could get him in round 3. Right now, Pro Football Focus projects him as a 3rd-round pick. So he's somebody that if you can get him and you want to gamble on it and get him in round 3, I think that, like TJ Tampa, the film isn't perfect, but he's got the physical profile that you look for. He's very fast, very big, very strong, good run defender, and he fits the mold of that kind of quote-unquote Richard Sherman role in this Dan Quinn defense where they need that true press man corner on the outside so they can shift coverages over to the other side of the formation. So I think Tampa and Jackson fit that mold and are really good fits. And if they take either one of them at pick number 36 or 40, I wouldn't bat an eye. They're both really good players. Now coming up here, my number 8 through 15 cornerback prospects here for the Washington Commanders and in the NFL draft in general. But before we get into that, I want to talk about today's sponsor at Prize Picks. And they've got specials for new and returning users alike for March Madness here over the next few weeks while March Madness is still going on. When you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. Football season may be over, folks, but the action on the hardwood is just heating up. And whether it's March Madness or the fight for NBA playoff seeding, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of the year. Get in on the excitement with our friends at Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. March Madness is now in full swing, and you can pick more or less right now. Prize Picks is simple. All you have to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can get started right now if you haven't already by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS or downloading the Prize Picks app today and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match of $100. Pick more or pick less. It's that easy with our friends at Prize Picks. Now at my number 8 spot, I got Ennis Rakestraw Jr. out of Mizzou. I think he's a starting capable corner coming right out of Mizzou there, but I think he's more of a Fangio style off coverage type corner. I don't think he's what the Washington Commanders are looking for right now. Last year in this Jack Del Rio system where he would have been asked to do just that, playoff coverage, I would have been all over Ennis Rakestraw here. But with this new man-heavy system coming in, I don't think he fits that profile. So even though really good player, round 2 guy in my opinion, I don't think he's a fit for the Washington Commanders. Then we get to a couple of slot corners here, and I don't think the Commanders are going to be looking for slot guys. You got Quan Martin in there. Derek Forrest can play a little bit in the slot. Even Jeremy Chin can play in the slot. So I don't think Mike Sanistrill out of Michigan or Jerrion Jones out of Florida State are really going to be on the Commanders' radar, even though they're both really, really good slot cornerbacks. So I really like their profiles, but 8, 9, and 10, all 3 of these guys, I'm not sure if they're what the Commanders are looking for. Now make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon right now. If you want more positional ranking videos right here on the channel. We still have to get to wide receiver. We might even do quarterback if you want me to do that one as well. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon and then get in the comment section and let me know which position you want me to do next. Then number 11, I got Renardo Green, press man type corner out of Florida State. Now the reason why Renardo is down here at number 11 is that even though I think he's really structurally sound, and I think he's going to be for sure a good starter in the league, I have a lot of faith in him, he is undersized. So that's going to drive him down draft boards this year because he's only like 187 pounds, I think. And for somebody that's going to be playing press man coverage, I mean, that's a little bit light. All right, so I think he's got the skill set to be a number 2 corner in a press man heavy system like the Commanders have. But at the end of the day, man, that size is going to be a little bit of an issue. Then we go to number 12, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., another guy that I like in the middle rounds here, whether that be round 3 or even if he falls to round 4. Really good week at the Senior Bowl, one of the best in the one-on-one coverages. I think he had a pick 6 in the game as well. So this is somebody that I really like, and I think that Green and Brownlee Jr. are probably like the great fits and the people that you're probably going to be pursuing in round 3 or 4. You know, if you can't get a TJ Tampa or a Kool-Aid McKinstry or Kyrie Jackson, then I think the next plan B is to go after Renardo Green or Jarvis Brownlee Jr. because they fit the mold of what this team wants at the cornerback position. Speaking of fitting the mold here, Andrew Phillips, another guy that's a little bit undersized as a aggressive press man corner. But he gets the job done, man. Like, he's not terrible. I wouldn't put him on the same level of technical refinement as a Renardo Green, but I like Andrew Phillips's potential as like a rotational, even outside corner to start. Maybe he can become a good outside number 2 corner in a press man heavy system. But overall, like the profile, and it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up going. I have a round 3 grade on him. Then my last 2 guys here, Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. Not a great pro day performance, man. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he ran like a 4.5 something, I believe. And it wasn't a good performance, all right? So he doesn't necessarily have the wow factor in terms of his athletic profile, but he plays with good anticipation. He's got good ball skills. There's a reason why he was getting round 2 hype and even first-round hype for some parts of this offseason. He's a good player, but I'm not sure if he has the physical upside to be anything more than a rotational corner in the league. Probably has to go to a zone-heavy system. Then we got Cam Hart here at number 15. Kind of similarly to Kamari Lassiter here, he doesn't have the short area quicks that you want. He doesn't have the long speed that you look for. So I think that he probably fits best in a zone-heavy system. He's got good length, good size, all these different things. You know, in round 3, it's worth taking a flyer on him. He's definitely a decent player, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, man, I think these 2 guys at the end probably not the best fits for what the Washington Commanders are looking for. So now discuss it down there in the comment section. Which cornerback prospect do you want the Commanders to draft this year? Do you want to wait for like a Kool-Aid McKinstry? Do you want like a TJ Tampa? Who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comment section who you got your radar on. All right, so now here are the guys that I would target in round 2 if I were the Washington Commanders. Now, I don't think Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Terrion Arnold are going to be there. I have them as round 1 guys. But listen, man, there's a lot of great offensive talent in this year's draft. So is it possible that one of these guys is available at pick number 36? I think it is. And I think if you can get any of them, take them. All right. I do not think that Nate Wiggins and Quinyon Mitchell will even sniff the second round. But with Cooper DeJean's injury, same thing with Kool-Aid and the Terrion, I do think they could potentially be there at round 2. And if they're there, take them. But if they don't make it there, I love the fit with TJ Tampa, and even Kyrie Jackson at pick like number 40, I think would be good for this football team. Then in round 3, if Kyrie's there in round 3, frickin' take him. Run that card up to the podium. I think that's a great value for a guy like that. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. as well. He's got the long arms and the physicality and the ball skills you look for. Renardo Green, I wouldn't mind at all. And then Andrew Phillips in round 3 or 4, I think would be a decent fit as well. All right, that'll be it for today's video, guys. I appreciate all of you guys for sticking around with me to the end today. Let me know what you guys think about my rankings down there in the comments section. Make sure you click that subscribe button to never miss any of our extensive Commanders draft coverage all throughout the 2024 offseason.